Thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you for coming. We're glad that you're here with us.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming today. We're grateful for your presence.
Good evening and welcome. Welcome to Kids at Heart. 1 year ago, Arts for Life did something unprecedented. We gathered together on Zoom to hold our first ever virtual fundraiser. And I doubt that many of us thought we'd be doing it again this year. But we remain in unprecedented times. The pandemic has touched aspects of all of our lives. And perhaps more than anything else in our time, it has shown us the importance of community, including this community, this remarkable community that comes together in person or on a screen to support kids and their families and to inspire courage through creativity. And we are all so glad that you are here. Arts for Life staff, our board members, and the Arts for Life families. We are all thankful for the love and for the support that you are giving young patients by being here with us tonight. And we're excited to share these next 30 minutes with you to inspire you through art, music, and some special guests to help tell our story. In our short time together tonight, we hope to show you the impact that creativity and the arts can have on a child in the hospital, on a caregiver at the bedside, on a sibling worrying at home, really the impact on their entire community. We will hear some transformational stories of how the arts can change the hospital experience for our families. We'll hear from some of our hospital allies, Suzanne, Amy, and Tom, who will share what it means to work with children receiving medical treatment and how creativity truly can make a difference. We'll hear from Whitney Feld, our board chair, who will share why she believes in our mission and why she supports Arts for Life, and also how you all can join her in that support tonight. And finally, to cap it all off, we'll share some of our greatest hits, looking back into the archives to show you some truly wonderful masterpieces from over the years. Next month marks 20 years of Arts for Life. That's tens of thousands of kids who have been handed a paintbrush and encouraged to strum a guitar while sitting in a hospital room. They have found courage through creativity as they played, imagined, and expressed themselves as kids, not just as patients. And we are in absolute awe of all of the remarkable things that have been accomplished since 2001. But we know that the work's not done, not even close. There are still kids and still families in hospitals and in waiting rooms. And until we live in a world without disease, without illness, without treatment and tests, Arts for Life wants to be there to support kids and their families, improving their hospital experiences and bringing them joy and relief through the arts, even if it's just for a moment, because we know how meaningful that can be. And that's why we are all gathered here tonight with our community to ask you for your support of that worthwhile mission. I truly believe that we are all kids at heart, but I also know that the world sometimes makes it really hard to remember that, and that can be especially true in the hospital, even when you really are still a kid. Arts for Life works to reignite that creative spark that we know that everyone carries, to reignite it during a challenging time in a scary place where it's easy to forget how to be creative, how to play, how to be a kid. Arts for Life brings the tools, the ideas, and the people to help find that creative spark again and help kids be kids. I want to share a story with all of you about how even just a little spark of creativity can transform a moment. Our Asheville chapter has artwork on display in the reception area of the Cancer Center, where all patients have to come through as they come in for their appointments. And we heard an incredible story from one of the registration staff about a little girl who came in one day with her dad. It was obvious the little girl was scared, nervous to be there. So while her dad worked on completing the registration, the staff member walked the little girl around, showing her all of the artwork and explaining that kids, just like her, had made the art she was seeing. You could see relief as the little girl started to feel more at ease. And on their way out, after their appointment, the little girl brought the registration staff a drawing of her own to add to the art display. Then the staff shared this quote with us. They said, "Y'all are doing good, important work, even for people that you never meet, even for adult patients and their families who get to see all of this artwork. It brightens their day and adds cheer to this place."
Imagine sitting in a hospital room, a place you may have never been before, waiting for a needle stick, part of a test that you wish you didn't have to take. People keep coming through the door, wearing masks and gowns and gloves, asking you questions, many of which you don't even know the answer to. All of these people are there to help take care of you, but knowing that doesn't really make the experience any less scary. We know how the arts can transform the hospital experience, how a few crayons and a giant piece of blank paper can engage a toddler who can't leave their room, how printmaking supplies can invite a teenager to express themselves in a new way, how a guitar and a specially tailored lullaby can soothe an infant and an exhausted caregiver, how creativity can help pull you out of the scary place that you're in and back to yourself. The arts have the power to remind young patients that they are not only patients, they're kids, teenagers, young adults. And at Arts for Life, we have the honor of helping deliver that to kids and families in our hospitals and in our communities. One Arts for Life family recently shared with us how the opportunity to be creative has impacted them. These three sisters, Emma, Grace, and Mary Salem, have created many masterpieces while participating in Creativity on Call, Arts for Life's virtual art sessions. Emma says that she loves doing art because it gives them something fun and creative they can all do together. Grace enjoys the art projects and the chance to create something that she can be proud of. And Mary Salem shares that Arts for Life helps her feel creative and cheerful. Megan, mom to Emma, Grace, and Mary Salem, says, "This year has been the darkest, most difficult year of our lives, as our oldest daughter has relapsed after 3 years of no evidence of disease. Having art every week not only was a great source of joy for us, but also provided some much-needed stability and predictability. Even when I was staying on the inpatient unit with my oldest, or when she was too sick to participate, our 2 younger daughters knew that they could look forward to time doing art with Arts for Life each week. It has been a huge blessing to us."
The title Arts for Life is just beautiful because art does transform so much of what we do, and it allows us to breathe in a different way through colors, through materials, through self-expression. And for our pediatric behavioral health patients, it's priceless. There's lots of different reasons why they may come into our pediatric behavioral health unit, and they may be scared, they may be very anxious, but being able to have art, not only bright art that may be around us, but being able to create, but allow them the time to have the creativity to express themselves in their own manner. And the patients love that, and they love that creativity, and then how beautiful it looks after. But just watching the patients involved in those activities, the teenagers light up, the younger patients light up, And, this might be something that helped them to get through a very difficult time in their stay in the hospital. Arts for Life has really assisted during this time of COVID as well, tremendously. And Arts for Life has been very consistent. And, Arts for Life has been able to reach out to us. Suzanne, how many patients do you have now? Do we have enough kits that are coming to you? How are the supplies? What do other patients need? What do they need to help them to be successful in the hospital environment? And the art aspect and allowing patients to have choice when so many things are chosen for them is just priceless. Because patients continue to come to the hospital no matter what else is going on, and we're always there to support them. It takes a whole community to help our children and our patients. Without arts and music, life is very bland. There's a silence that would come over us that is just a void. So arts and music help to fill a void in such a positive way, and just to allow us to express ourselves. So arts and music is a necessity.
I think play and creativity is so important for kids when they're in the hospital because it allows them to heal faster. And I think that they feel more comfortable, they feel they can be themselves, they can express a lot of the things that they're going through, because when kids are in the hospital or when they're dealing with a chronic illness, they often have a lot of anger and confusion and sadness and pain and things that can happen to them. And doing art or being engaged in art is something that can really help distract and also help them process a lot of that stuff too. Without art, a hospital would be a lot less fun, a lot less enjoyable for kids, and I think for parents as well. I love being able to introduce Arts for Life to our families and seeing them engage not only with the children but also with the parents. It's a great stress reliever for them too. Arts for Life makes our job as child life specialists a lot easier because it takes some of the weight off of what we do, so we're able to meet more needs with our children. I think that Arts for Life partners so well with Child Life, and we're here to meet the same goals, and we're here to help our kids feel like kids and help them process and understand and just make their days a little bit easier. It doesn't always have to be about why are you here, why are you sick, and things like that. We can have Arts for Life come in and engage them in something that is completely fun and child-friendly and has nothing to do with them being sick or being in the hospital. When you come onto the unit, it's not as sad as you might think it is. There are days where kids don't feel well or they're not feeling up to playing, and there's also moments where you're gonna see a kid in the playroom having a great time and we're gonna be doing art with them or some sort of play that they can just be like normal kids even though they're here in the hospital.
Arts for Life, for me, most represents something positive in the midst of a life-threatening illness. A lot of our patients go through some pretty awful stuff, chemotherapy and surgery and radiation therapy, but Arts for Life, to me, signifies something that's in the hospital or online or both. It's always positive, something that the kids enjoy and benefit from, something that the families enjoy and benefit from, and even we benefit from it, the healthcare providers. Without art and music, the hospital would be a much gloomier place with fewer smiles, less laughter, and more stress. But art and music help all those things, and they provide a bright spot in a place that can be, at times, a gloomy or, well, if it weren't for art, it could be a gloomy environment. The impact that I see of art and music in the hospital provided by Arts for Life is always a positive one. I've seen kids brighten up and feel better and become unplugged. I support Arts for Life because it provides something positive for our patients. I see these patients every day in the hospital and in the clinic, and it's not always fun to come to the clinic or the hospital to get chemotherapy. In fact, it rarely is, but Arts for Life provides that glimmer of fun and creativity that we as healthcare providers can't provide, aren't skilled enough to provide. It's a wonderful organization because it really helps these patients and their families get through some trying times. And I also want to thank the donors who support Arts for Life. I see the benefits of art every day. I come to this hospital every day and I take care of kids with cancer and other life-threatening illnesses. And I can truly see a direct positive impact on what Arts for Life does for these patients. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you.
Hi, I'm Whitney Feld, and I have the pleasure of serving as the chair of the Arts for Life board this year. I have the honor of hearing and seeing how Arts for Life serves patients, siblings, and families in so many ways and in all kinds of difficult situations. If we're fortunate enough to have never spent time in a children's hospital, it can be difficult to imagine watching a child get their blood drawn and taking medicine that makes them feel terrible. What you can imagine is wanting to make things better for that child and for their family. We know that we can't magically take away all of the hard things the children face when undergoing treatment. But what we can do through programs like Arts for Life is give them the tools and the opportunities to get creative and to be a kid, to provide moments of joy and relief, even in the hospital. The faithful foundation of our organization, what makes Arts for Life possible, is you, generous friends and supporters who donate to ensure the creativity is always part of the healing process for kids and their families. This community recognizes the importance of the arts, the power to transform a hospital room into a gallery and a clinic into a jam session. Your spirit of generosity brought you here tonight, and for that, I am very grateful. I'm here to share what we do as a community to share the healing power of the arts with young patients as they receive world-class medical treatment. If you're moved by what you've heard this evening and you'd like to help support Arts for Life programs today and into the future, I would like to personally invite you to join our multi-year giving club, the Kids at Heart Society. By pledging your unrestricted support for the next 3 years, you're empowering Arts for Life to reach kids whenever and wherever they need help finding their creative spark. With a gift of $1,000 a year for each of the next 3 years, you will be funding the Arts for Life experience for one young artist over the course of the entire treatment, which for some kids lasts years or sometimes their entire lives. That includes art materials, musical instruments, and other creative resources, as well as human resources, the people that help spark creativity and build relationship. We know some of you are capable of giving even more, and with a gift of $5,000 a year for each of the next 3 years, you will be sponsoring an entire family, a young patient, their siblings, and their caregivers. That's supporting a whole family through some of the hardest days they will ever have to endure together. With a gift of $10,000 a year for the next 3 years, you will be sponsoring 10 young artists, a hospital unit of young lives you'll be impacting by offering them the gift of creativity, courage, and hope. I want to pause a moment to thank these donors, the founding members of the Kids at Heart Society, who generously gave and provided us a strong foundation upon which to keep building our multi-year giving club. Those of you who give a gift tonight will help us build this incredible resource for Arts for Life so that Arts for Life can focus on its mission and continue bringing the arts and creativity to children and the families across the state. We have another exciting invitation for you this evening. A generous donor has issued a challenge of a matching gift of $25,000. We are so grateful to our dear friend, George Grody, for making this possible. And so we extend that challenge to each of you. Here's how you can double the impact of your gift. Join our Kids at Heart Society by making a 3-year pledge at any level of $1,000 or more. Or, if you're new to Arts for Life, any first-time donations of $250 or more will also be matched. That's a recurring donation of just $20 a month to bring the arts into hospital and a smile to a child's face. To make your gift, we invite you to visit our Kids at Heart website. There, you'll find all the different ways you can impact a young child's patient hospital experience. Whether you're joining our Kids at Heart Society or making a donation of another amount that's meaningful to you, please know how grateful we are. We ask you to take action now, to make your gift or pledge tonight, to help transform the hospital experiences for kids and families in our communities. Thank you so much for joining us and for supporting us. Thank you for giving generously. You are making it possible for Arts for Life to keep being there for young patients when they and where they need the healing power of the arts the most.
Before we go our separate ways tonight, we have something else we'd like you all to experience this evening. As a small token of our gratitude for being here and for believing in our mission, we want to show you some more of the creativity that your support can make possible. We are pulling from our rich archives to share some reading from a poetry collection titled My Life is Bold by children in our Winston-Salem chapter. We are also reaching deep into our galleries to show you some of the incredible masterpieces created over the years and across the state by our young and inspiring artists. And this is really just a small sampling of the creativity and of the courage inspired in Arts for Life programs over the last 20 years. And we cannot wait to see what the next 2 decades bring. So thank you all for being here this evening. We are so grateful for each and every one of you. And I hope you enjoy.
From My Life is Bold, a poetry collection by Arts for Life children and teenagers. The Greatest Escape by Louise, 11 years old. Weakness is a snail in your brain, trying to control you. It smells like nasty sweat. It feels tingly, like ants in your pants. It wants to eat my brain and control me, but I don't want it to. I will fight. It's like a rusty old car, a secret detective, mysterious. One day, me and him had a war. He said, "You're gonna stay this way." But I knew his weakness, hope. I told him, "I have hope." And in less than a second, he vanished.
Courage by Christina, 19 years old. A soldier fighting on the battlefield, one who will never yield. A survivor who stared death in the face, one who showed no fear, not even a trace. A donor who gives what he's got, no matter if it's only a little or a lot. A doctor who fights diseases all day, one who'll find a cure someday. A scientist who studies all night, one who searched for the answers that are fight. All are courageous through and through, courageous I am, and so are you.
Have a great night.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you everyone for coming, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you for your support of Arts for Life. We're grateful.